OnlyFans gets a bad rap, but it doesn't always have to be sexual. And now a lot of websites, believe it or not, are giving you the capabilities to create a community on there as well. Think about how can you create a community and add value. I do think that there is a great deal of good to be said about franchises if done right and if you pick the right ones. I think that it just depends on the person. I just love the SEO business because I know people that are making so much money doing this. What I always love to say is your only limitation is your imagination. Welcome to episode 17 of the Income Autopilot Podcast. I'm your host, JT, aka JT Hustles, aka JT Automations. Now, if you missed part 1, go back and see episode 17 or whatever number is prior to this, but we're going to upload them in order. We're covering the 8 top ways to make money while you sleep, and now we're on way number 4. So without further ado, let's get into it. So way number 4 is continuity program. A continuity program, how it was broken down to me, and I think the best way to explain it to you is what can you do once, sell once, that is, and get paid for it over and over and over again. Think about like a Netflix subscription. There's a good chance that somebody or some advertisement sold you on a Netflix or similar subscription once, and you might have paid for it more than once. You might have paid for it month after month after month. Some of us might say, hey, we're going to pay for this for the rest of our lives. Think about insurance. Is another thing that maybe somebody sold you on it once, and then you've been with that same insurance company over and over and over again. So how can we as business owners, aspiring business owners, current business owners, wherever you fall, how can we create our own continuity program so that way we can take advantage of these opportunities as well? First and foremost, you can create your own paid community. You can create your own privately paid community, and you can have this being a community that talks about health, wealth, or relationships. If you're into trucking, because there's a disproportionate amount of people that listen to this program that are in the trucking industry, and salute to you if you're one of them. But whether you are or not, you can create a continuity program where you have a community. Let's say you charge people anywhere from $5 to $100 a month to be a part of this community. And then you got to add real value. So of course, the more money you charge, the more value you have to have. But just to throw it out there, let's say that I'm going to start a trucking community, just fictitiously speaking. Well, I'm going to get really good at finding dispatchers, brokers, and other men and women that have loads for drivers. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to negotiate with a dispatcher or a broker to say, okay, I want you to start posting your opportunities in my private group first, whether it's a private Facebook group, whether it's on Patreon. OnlyFans gets a bad rap, but it doesn't always have to be sexual. So OnlyFans, and now a lot of websites, believe it or not, are giving you the capabilities to create a community on there as well. Think about how can you create a community and add value. So let me give you guys some communities that I'm a part of. There's one community, it's a newsletter, right? And this newsletter, what it does is go out and find grants for content creators. They go out and find grants for African Americans. They go out and find grants for different sorts of people. And you can subscribe to different newsletters and have them just pretty much deliver you grants. And the grants, they don't create the grants. So it's not like you're going to get a grant a day, a grant a week, a grant a month. They just know how to research and look for grants. And as grants come available, they send them to you. Well, what happens if a month or two goes by and no grants come out? Well, guess what? You're still going to keep paying for the community because you don't want to opt out the 1 month that they're going to send you the grant that's for you. So whether it is a grant community, and of course, you could just hire a grant writer and researcher to do this for you. Whether you want to help people make money with the dispatching, if you're trucking, what I always love to say is your only limitation is your imagination. There's another community that I'm a part of, or was a part of, just gonna keep it real with you. And they were vegan. They were people that actually, the term was called fruitarian. So they got off of meat and vegetables, right? And carbs. So they just were predominantly, well, not predominantly, they were solely eating fruit. I was just interested in knowing, how that life was, especially as somebody that's a country boy that, grew up on mac and cheese and collard greens and arguably has a food addiction to soul food. How is that even a thing? right? So I was a part of that community briefly. And of course, that community has nothing to do with making money. But I want you to know your only limitation is your imagination. Think about that. Think about what interests you and how can you create a safe place, a profitable place for other people that have an interest similar to you. There are communities out there for video games. There are communities out there for cars. There are communities out there for everything. Now, there's different ways to monetize these communities. Of course, the obvious way is to charge the members. Another alternative is to have the community be free and you charge advertisers that have products, services, and information that can benefit the community to advertise in front of that community. I don't think that there's a right or wrong way to do it, but one way that you can start making money while you sleep is by having that community. I have communities on Patreon. I also have communities as well for my current coaching students where they pay a monthly fee to have access to all of my courses and to have a coaching session once a month with one of my premier coaches as well. Now, let's say coaching or communities aren't your thing. You want something that's a little bit more indirect as far as having to deal with the people. Now you entered into the SaaS space. SaaS is SaaS. It stands for software as a service. I'm not a tech guy, but one of the commitments that I've made is that I'm going to buy a SaaS company. Now, of course, when you start hearing people talk about buying software companies, sometimes that's to the tune of 6-7 figures or greater. Well, I want to share with you all the resource I use called Flippa, Flippa. Another resource I want to share with you, Motion Invest. So I want you to know that there are platforms out there. Matter of fact, I got my eye on a software and I'm going to share it with you guys. By the time this show comes out, either I bought it or somebody else bought it. You know what I mean? Cousin JT don't gotta gatekeep. I'm looking at gracefulguide.chat. I'm on the home page here, and for the benefit of the people that are going to be watching this on YouTube or wherever there's a visual platform at that'll allow you to see this, I'm going to make this big so we can check it out together. What Graceful Guide is, it says, explore spiritual wisdom with Graceful Guide, nurture your spiritual journey through enlightening dialogues and divine insights with our Graceful Guide AI chatbot, where faith meets technology for deeper connection and profound guidance. You could try it for free. It's a wealth of diverse knowledge at your service. Spiritual guidance, inspiration and encouragement, biblical knowledge, crisis counseling, accessible anytime, anywhere. Ready to get started? Check how it works, right? You can exit anything, right? And we will make some edits to this. One thing that I'm seeing on the homepage that I'm not a big fan of, because I was raised in the Bible Belt, you put the prompts, it says Jesus there, right? I'm not a huge fan of that. So we will definitely figure out how can we change that to something less controversial, in my opinion. We'll definitely make some changes to it if we were to buy it. Boom, boom, boom. Just a basic website. We'll look at some pricing as well too, and then we'll elaborate more. So they have a free plan where you can ask 5 questions a day, generate 10 images, and create all type of content. You can translate into any language. For $3.99 a month, you get 20 questions a day, generate 30 images, all types of content, translating to any language. And for $9.99 a month, you can ask unlimited questions, generate unlimited images, all types of content, translate into any language. I'm going to be honest with you. I really think this is built on ChatGPT, and it is just designed to specifically target the Christian niche, in my humble opinion. Now, on the website right now, this is out of Pearland, Texas. If we go and look at the listing for this, can you see that price? I know those of you all listening can't. It says $219 US dollars. This listing ends in 9 days. I'm going to make an offer on it as well. And I'm looking at some other ones, but let me find where in the world was this one at. I think there's a developer out of India, if I'm not mistaken, has this one. Let me go here. Possibly for $219. And if you guys want to know if I end up getting it or not, just let me know. Monthly profit, $7 a month, has a very high churn. Very high churn. That's the number of people that don't stay month to month. 71% is crazy high. All right. What I like about this tool is that this tool probably can be changed as like a chat GPT for any particular niche. I'm a spiritual person, so I like this. I definitely like the price of it. So far, what I would definitely have changed is we're not going to make it seem like we're talking to Jesus. That to me is just something I'm not comfortable with. If they're definitely willing to make those changes on the website and in the tech, we're going to take this down. I do have a Christian page. I do have a Christian page on Instagram, which serves as the top of our sales funnel. And we are growing a Christian audience there. If you want to check it out, it's called Christian Wisdom Daily on Instagram. And this is possibly a tool that we can have that can service the men and women over there as well. That being said, that's really the long and the short of it for SaaS. Now, what I love about this, I learned this from Mr. Russell Brunson. He created a software called ClickFunnels. And what he said was, if you don't learn, right, if you don't learn how to create continuity in your business is worth nothing. So it is imperative that we as business owners learn how to create continuity in our business, or otherwise our business is worth nothing. All right. So we can create continuity through having a paid community where people pay each and every month to get the value that we share, or we can have a software product. And yes, you can build your own if you're tech inclined. You could partner with developers, or I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to buy a SaaS and I'm going to start attending tech and AI conferences in person. Just going to go to Google and type them in and see which ones catch my eye and interest me. And then I'm going to go there and network and try to find potential partners or contractors, if I don't think anybody will make a good fit as a partner, to help me keep things updated and expanding as needed. So that's what I'm doing to take advantage of SaaS, or that's my plan to do to take advantage of SaaS. Now let's get into number 5. Our 5th way to start making money while you sleep is by investing in franchises. I'm going to be honest with you. I got a lot of friends. Some of them got what we would call old money, meaning that they're older gentlemen. They made money back in the day through just real estate, entrepreneurship, doing more of in-person or what we call offline businesses and investing in the market over long periods of time. And maybe even inherited a little bit of good fortune as well. But most of them are first-gen, self-made type of cats. I also know some new money people as well. The old money people love this. The new money people, I'm going to be honest, it seems like they don't like it as much. So you guys let me know where you stand on this. And that is franchises. Franchises as a viable income stream. So let me know, but that is another way that you can start making money while you sleep. I don't have a lot to say on franchises. I've had a gentleman in the past on my YouTube channel that was a subject matter expert in franchises, a millionaire multiple times over due to franchises. So I do believe it is a viable way to make money. What I like about franchises, just to, be brief and give some value that I think I can add to the discussion, is what's great about franchises, you don't got to figure it out. You don't got to convince people to buy from you versus anybody else. When you get a brand name, like let's say Crumble Cookie, for example, people already know what Crumble Cookie is. You can already attract an audience for something like a Crumble Cookie or whatever big name franchise you want to get into. It doesn't have to be a food franchise as well. So franchises are viable for that reason. Some people may not like about franchises is you got to have that upfront capital to buy into it, and they are going to take a royalty pretty much in perpetuity as you being a franchise owner of it as well. I do think that there is a great deal of good to be said about franchises if done right and if you pick the right ones. But like I said, I think that it just depends on the person. If you're old school or new school, or even regardless of your school, like let's open it up. Like, what are your guys' thoughts on making this a viable income stream in present times? Also, I want to remind you guys as well that if you ever want to join me live on an episode of this podcast, all you have to do is subscribe to the paid tier of the Providence Pro newsletter that's available in the show notes or in the description, depending on when you're watching this video. So pretty much that is our email newsletter for faith-based, aspiring, and current entrepreneurs. And we do have a completely free tier. So if you just want to take advantage of that free information, join the free tier. But what you get on the paid tier, which is very cost-effective, way cheaper than other alternatives that I know and will continuously pay for here soon, you will get a Zoom link, and we'll email that Zoom link to you. And if you ever want to come live and have a conversation, ask questions, get any type of value or share your perspective and be in an episode, right? And tell your family members and friends about it, all you have to do is subscribe to the paid tier of the Providence Pro newsletter to get that Zoom link. Moving on, a SEO business. SEO stands for search engine optimization. Now, I love this business. All right. Reason why I love search engine optimization is because I know the person that is mentored by a gentleman that does $80 million a year off of a SEO business. Now, the person I know is a multimillionaire. They don't make as much as their mentor does doing it, but they do make millions of dollars doing it. So basically, search engine optimization, to make sure everybody's on the same page, is how do you create a website that'll rank on the first page of Google or whatever major search engine you want it to rank on the first page of that allows that to happen, right? Now, how they make money is, okay, they don't actually do the service themselves. So let's say, for example, in-ground pool installation. I don't know what it costs in your area, but it's not cheap where I am. As low as 30 to 50,000, depending on the size of the pool. It could go up to 6 and even 7 figures, depending on how nice you want it. But let's say conservatively expect to spend around $50,000 for the average in-ground swimming pool in my area. Well, what if there is a company that's really good at installing them, maintaining them as needed, and repairing them, whatever is tied to the service? You guys get the point. But they're not good at finding buyers to consistently hit them up that have the money to give them $50,000, $100,000 or more to install these pools. Well, what if there was a website that ranked on the first page of Google or whatever major search engine exists when you're listening to this, and when people went searching for in-ground pool installation, you popped up first, and you had a professional website, and you had good reviews because you did good work, and people started reaching out to you via phone or via your website to get you to come do their service as well. So getting qualified buyers that have the money to pay you. And let's say that you own the SEO website and you said, you know what, I don't want to do it. Maybe you never knew how to do it, but you'll either lease the website out to the company, not give, but lease it just like you would a house or a car or anything else you would lease. So that way they will pay you on a monthly basis to get 100% of the leads. Or the way that I know that people make the most money is they'll anchor them. What do I mean by that? They'll send a couple of free leads to a company and let them get some money, kind of wet they whistle, as they say down south, right? And then once that happens, then they'll reach out to them and say, hey, listen, you know, have you received some leads from XYZ company? Because you can play a recording. So let's say that somebody wants to call and get a quote and talk about it. So when their phone rings, it can say, hey, this is a lead from JT. And then it'll connect the call with whoever's trying to call them. So after they got 3-4 jobs like that, 2, 3, maybe even 1, depending on how profitable it was, you reach out and say, hey, this is JT, man. I just wanted to congratulate you on your most recent job. We sent you over that lead. Did you like that? Yeah, man. Thank you so much. Hey, would you like those leads to keep coming, or are you not in a place right now to, you know, drastically grow your business? If they got any sense, they'll say, we want them to keep coming. So then you can anchor them by saying a price like, well, you know what? That'll be $3,500 a month and we'll send you all of our leads. Well, they may say, well, maybe that's a little bit outside of our budget. We might not be able to do that at this time. Well, okay. Well, what if we did 10% of every job that you got So that way it's low risk to you. If we don't get you any jobs, you don't pay us anything. But we're taking 10% of the gross, 10% of the top line for every job that we give you. And let's do it for this period of time. And, that way you can kind of see if this is something that is worthwhile or not, right? That takes away a lot of risk from them. Now, how do you protect yourself? Of course, the money has to come to you and then you pay them out. So now that $50,000 job comes through. You take 10%, you take $5,000. You give them $45,000. Well, guess what? If you do this right, you're on the first page of Google. That's the whole premise of being good at SEO. Everything on this list is assuming that you're willing to learn how to get good at it if you're not already. Let's say that you're on the first page of Google and you're getting 4, 5, 8, 10 of these leads in a month. So they're making great money. But one day they're going to wake up and say, we paid JT $50,000 this month. It was 10 jobs that he got us and he took $5,000 each job. That $3,500 wasn't that bad. But now since you own the asset, which is the SEO website, when they call back to renegotiate, guess what you can say? Whatever you want. So if whatever you want to say is no, then the answer is no. Then it is what it is. Or you could say, okay, now that I kind of proved myself, I kind of want to, renegotiate as well. So we'll do $3,500 a month, but it's paid in full. So it's not $3,500 on the first of every month. Multiply 3,500 times 12. Some of you guys are already on it and faster than me with this, but I'm going to go to my handy dandy calculator. Not going to lie to you. And I'm going to just type in 3,500 times 12. And it's going to tell me that now we're asking them for $42,000 up front, and we'll send them the remainder of the leads. So they could have jumped on $3,500 a month up front and just locked in $3,500 a month to month forever, or however long you want to make the terms. They're going to turn it down. They're going to take 10%, which is going to probably make you the most money. If you find a good vendor and don't want to keep finding good vendors, then you probably would renegotiate if they are, adamant about not wanting to continue the 10% split. But then you definitely need to negotiate a annual payment in full. And depending on the energy of the conversation, you might even start looking for other good replacements as well. But not to go super deep in that, I just love the SEO business because I know people that are making so much money doing this. And with the technology that is out now, you could probably build one of these SEO assets over a weekend, maybe less for some of you all that are really smart. I'm a country boy that cheated his way through school. And I also went to the Marine Corps, which is not where the smartest people in the world go. If you got a South Carolina education, you're a country boy, went to the military like me, you probably could get away with doing it over a weekend using the tools that are available out there now. I'm not here to tell you that you got to use my friend that's making millions of dollars program, but if anybody is interested in knowing about, what program does your friend have that has been making millions of dollars, I would say John is probably in his late 50s and has been making money doing this for at least probably 10 to 12 years now and counting, maybe longer depending on when you're listening to or watching this episode. But if you want me to text you John's program, you could text me anytime at 202-601-9347 and just text the word SEO Biz, B-I-Z, SEO for search engine optimization, Biz. If you text the word SEO Biz to 202-601-9347. I'm going to say it 2 more times in case somebody's trying to get a pen that writes or put it in their phone. 202-601-9347. You could text me anytime the word SEO Biz to 202-601-9347. And I'll shoot that over to you. SEO business. Next, e-commerce. E-commerce. I love e-com as well. There's so many ways to do e-commerce. If you're somebody out there that's busy and is not looking for another job that's going to take just as much time as what you're doing now, even if that job paid you more money than what you're doing now, I like digital products because the profit margins are better, sometimes 90+%, and they get delivered to the consumer immediately. If you're not a big fan of digital products, we're talking about ebooks, courses, software, like we talked about SaaS earlier when we talked about continuity, communities, anything like that. You can do physical products. I am biased. As somebody that has done drop shipping and POD before, I'm going to recommend that you do POD. POD is print on demand. Print on demand. Pretty much think about, so I'm wearing right now a Gucci hoodie. I think when I bought this Gucci hoodie, not that I'm recommending anybody to spend this kind of money on a hoodie, but hey, I did. You know, it is what it is. $2,400 for this Gucci hoodie that I'm wearing. Let's say that you're going to build a brand similar to Gucci, a high-end fashion brand or whatever it is you want to call it, but you're going to do print on demand though. So I had to go inside Neiman Marcus, see something I like, give them $2,400 plus tax, and then they gave me this hoodie, right? You could just have an online Shopify store, Wix store, WordPress store, whatever it is you want to call it, and then connect it on the back end to a Printify, to a Printful, to a Stan Banks of T-shirt side hustle, and connect it to somebody that will actually make it for you. So your product only exists as a mocked up image on your site. Once somebody pays you the money, let's use the same numbers. Let's say I bought your hoodie for $2,400. Let's say that your manufacturer on the back end, because of the quality materials and the fast turnaround time, they charge you $100, right? If that. At $100 for a high quality product that covers putting your design, your name on it, and the tag and everything. That includes packaging it up in luxury packaging. That includes shipping it out to me at the 123 Main Street end destination of your buyer, right? That leaves $2,300 worth of meat on that bone, or $2,300 worth of profit built in. So that being possible, right, you don't have to go out and spend $100 to have the hoodie or the item made in advance. You can just simply have it mocked up on your website, and then as it sells, you can have it automated too, have it made and shipped out. That's why I said Printify, Printful, connecting with Stan Banks and T-shirt side hustle. These are just connections on your website. So what's most common though, and what we're actively putting together and doing, is $30 shirts, right? Because we ain't Gucci. You might be, but I'm just saying I'm not. So say a $30 shirt might cost us $20 all in to make and ship high quality, right? Now, of course, there's room there. We could charge 35, we charge 40, but just for easy math, let's say $30, we make $10 profit per item, right? But we're doing physical products, print on demand. Like I said, if you want more margins, I would look at the digital side. But if you just prefer to sell physical stuff because you like stuff that you can hold and touch, then hey, there's nothing wrong with this either as well. So we get these designed, or I got some designed from Fiverr. Matter of fact, I used ChatGPT to get the saying, and then once I got the saying, I went to Fiverr to have some of the mock-ups done. And for those of you all that are visually viewing the podcast, I'm going to share those on the screen here in a minute. But I'm going to read the sayings that I got from ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a AI monster that I love. I am the self-proclaimed Fiverr king. So between AI and Fiverr, man, we going to make a whole lot of money. All right, we going to make a whole lot of money. Have made a whole lot of money too. So let me go first. Let me pull up this and let me show you guys these images. Well, let me read them first. Matter of fact, for the vast majority of people that won't be able to view us, be sure to check out the Income Autopilot podcast on YouTube and everywhere that they allow us to post visual podcasts as well. If you want to see some of these mock-ups that I'm going to put on the screen right now. But here's the sayings. This again is for our Christian page. This is one of 10 assets that we own, but this is my pride and joy as being unapologetically a believer. So I like to always talk about being a Christian. Here's the sayings that ChatGPT gave me. Lord, help me be the person my dog thinks I am. And y'all let me know if these are good or bad. Next, when life gives you more than you can stand, kneel in prayer, right? Next one, it's the word fake, F-A-K-E, but for those that are watching, imagine if the A-K-E part was X'd out or had a line through it, and then above it, it had A-I-T-H. So it's like somebody turned the word fake into faith, and it says faith it until you make it. So that's the design. God's plan is greater than your dreams. Jesus is my spotter. I lift heavy burdens in prayer. I run on faith, coffee, and a whole lot of grace. Y'all need Jesus and maybe some sweet tea. Jesus took the wheel. I'm just along for the ride. And I don't argue. I explain why I'm right and pray for patience. These are all sayings that we got from ChatGPT. Then we took them over to Big Fiverr to have somebody on Fiverr actually mock them up. So those that are watching on a visual platform are going to see some of the things that we had sent over. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. You might have to go back and forth with some people on Fiverr because I am definitely seeing that I'm not going to like all of these designs, but I am going to like probably a few of them, and then we're going to go with that, right? So I would say total investment. So I pay for ChatGPT about a month. I think it's like $20 a month. On Fiverr for this, I spent $105.50. I know that's a weird number. I probably only spent $100 for it, but Fiverr does have a fee as well. That's probably where the $5.50 came. Merge that with a website, a Wix site, is going to cost me, as of this recording, and it could change. I'm looking at Wix right now. A Wix site is going to cost me another $36 a month as well. So that'll be my total investment. $36 a month recurring, and $105 plus ChatGPT, another $20. I use ChatGPT for a lot of other stuff, so it's not really fair to say the whole $20 was just for this, because that's not true. But if we want to say worst case scenario, you got $126 invested in the design and the mock-ups, and then you spending $36 a month to have the website with 10 collaborators, 100 gigabytes of storage space, standard marketing suite, domain, standard site analytics, can accept payments, and standard e-commerce. Right now, and you can look through the plans yourself and see if another one better suits you, but that's what's going to be our cost. And seeing that will probably just up the price of our cheapest item on the site to $36, right? So if we sell one, it covers the website costs. When we sell the second one, we start being in the green, right? Super doable, all right? Super doable. I'm going to view ChatGPT and Fiverr as sunk costs because I will have to pay those expenses anyway, and that's SUNK for anybody that wants to look it up when we talk about sunk cost in business, right? So all businesses have them, and I will view that as a sunk cost. Number 8 on this list, content creation. So you've been listening to the Income Autopilot podcast. I recorded this podcast at my media house, December the 12th, 2024 at 11:05 at night. And I am going to upload this podcast after my editor finishes editing it sometime December 2024. This episode will live on different social media platforms and across several streaming platforms in perpetuity, aka forever. And as people listen to this episode and watch it on platforms that allow you to watch it, there is going to be ads ran, and those ads are going to make me money. And the reason why I am dating this by giving you guys the date and the time is I want you to compare it to when you're watching or listening to this, because understand that I'm not here live, but I am making money off of this thanks to your participation, your listening ear, your viewing eyes. And I don't take that for granted. I appreciate it. And I also want to encourage you to do the same as well. So content creation has changed my life, continues to change my life. And to quickly recap, the 8 top ways to make money while you sleep: stock investing via dividends, real estate rental income, high ticket coaching, continuity programs such as SaaS and membership sites, franchises, SEO businesses, e-commerce, and content creation. If you would like to talk to me directly about doing any of these, if you're interested in mentorship, you guys got the mentorship number 202-601-9347. If you're not interested in mentorship, but you would like to join us on future episodes, check out the show notes. Jump on our email newsletter, which is called the Providence Pro Newsletter. It's for faith-based, aspiring, and current entrepreneurs that want some advice along the way. And once you subscribe to the paid tier, then you will start receiving Zoom links and you can start joining us when we do these next time. I love you. God loves you. Keep God first. You can reach all of your financial goals. We'll see you guys in the next episode.